to Josh on Twitter. Shout out to Josh. Because I don't even know how long ago it was. We asked the question on who is the most improved position group on the Panthers. Yeah, about a week ago. And a couple days after, he tweeted this at me. Late entry, just watched the most improved position group video for the Panthers. So he's obviously watching on our YouTube. We appreciate it.
Nice.
Everyone else should do that as well. Please subscribe. 99.9 The Fan YouTube. He then added, I have to say that I really, truly believe it is the coaching staff, if that can count. So he was saying the coaching staff was the most improved position for the Carolina Panthers this offseason.
I feel great about playing football right now.
And my initial reaction, right, to kind of walk you through how I took it was like, it's funny. It's a good outside I'm a fan of outside the box thinking, right? If somebody would have thrown like front office at me, I might have gone like, hey, that's a good one too. Dan Morgan over Scott Fitter. Look at that. If somebody would have said like parking or something, I don't know. Like I'm a fan of outside the box thinking, so I was a fan of this contribution. And then I went, ooh, wait a second. My alarm started going off. Danger, Will Robinson. At this point last year, just about everyone thought the Panthers' probably most improved position group would have been coach as well. Going from Matt Rule, Dennis, you know all about Matt Rule.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. Yes, I do. My guy.
Going from, you do kind of like Matt Rule, don't you?
I do. He gave me so much.
He
gave me so much.
Matt Rule to Frank Reich's coaching staff. We're probably, if we would have asked that question last year, Josh probably could have sent in the exact same tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And there lies the caution, right? Coaching staffs are different. Because everything, by the way, I'm not even disagreeing with like the narrative. Everything we've heard about Dave Canales and his coaching staff has been awesome. Andy Dalton spoke with the media at OTAs. This is what he had to say about the difference between last year and this year.
I will say this, and this has nothing to do with last year. This is how everything to do with what we're doing right now. Dave and Brad came in, and they know exactly what they want. They know what they want it to look like. They know how they want to install it, and they have had a plan from the very beginning, and it's been known. And like from one of the first conversations that I've had with both those guys, it was like, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to install it, and it's going to build throughout OTAs and then into training camp.
Huh. First of all, how does that have nothing to do with last year? It has the fact that you're saying that now, Andy, I need you to feel comfortable stepping up and talking. Last year, why didn't you say something about them not having a plan? You've been around the block a few times. You've been to the playoffs a bunch of times. You've thrown for like 35,000 yards in the NFL. Voice your opinions when they're negative as much as positive. They're both necessary. You have to see something and say something. But here's the thing. Coaching is very much results-based. Playing can be process-based. Coaching is very results-based. We can talk context for players, right? If Dennis and I sit here and we say the most improved position, I think I said it was wide receivers, and Dennis, I think you said offensive line, right?
Yes.
Okay. We can give context to that, right? Mm-hmm. Wide receivers were the most improved. If they don't have a great season, if they don't have like statistical success, you can look at it and go, well, the quarterback was getting hit because the offensive line was better. The quarterback got hurt and they had to play with the backups or something, right? There's context there. Coaching is all about getting the best out of your players, whoever those players are, right? We can look at it and say, Bryce Young is better than he showed last year. That's a coaching thing. Improvement is big. Are you better at the end of the year than you are at the beginning of the year? That's coaching. I like the new coaches. I really like Dave Canales. Right after watching the Blueprint video, I like Brad Idzik. I haven't like seen a lot of him publicly. I like what they did in Tampa. I like Dan Morgan. I like a lot of the new with the Carolina Panthers, but it is a dangerous game to say they are improved just because they're new. Winning the press conference and winning the game take wildly different coaching skill sets, right? Because I'm just going to be honest, we don't really care how a player, outside of maybe quarterback, maybe quarterback. We don't really care how a player handles the press conference. We care how they played last year, right? So when you're talking about Dennis, you and I or you for your most improved position group picked offensive line.
Yep.
If Robert Hunt went out there and answered every question with a limerick, I wouldn't care, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, we just watched him push people around for a bunch of years in Miami for the Dolphins, so I don't care if he's up there speaking in haiku. Like, the press conference means nothing. For a coach, for some reason, we do take that all into account more. Like, if Dave Canales gave a bad press conference, we'd have been like, can't be a leader, can't do it. But in actuality, there's not a ton, like, I mean, public speaking and speaking in front of a team, maybe a little bit of crossover there, although it's not the same. Like, speaking publicly to, like, the masses and speaking publicly to 100 guys on a football team are different skill sets, similar but different. Like, judge Dave Canales. Judge if he's more improved over Frank Reich. Not because of, he brought new energy. Dude, like, well, can he make a defense be surprised one time? Like can he pick up a third down and long one time? Can he get Bryce Young an easy touchdown pass one time? That used to be like, no disrespect to my college offensive coordinator. I played college football at the University of Delaware. I used to watch like highlights, right? You go out there, you'd bust your tail for a game, like a 3:30 Saturday game. You'd come back and you'd want to catch up on all the highlights for all the other college games that took place that day. And I'd see like blown coverages and wide open touchdown passes. I'd be going, I wonder when I'm going to get one of those.
Yeah.
Right? Like and again, no discredit to my offensive coordinator. We didn't get any. Like, ever. Like, ours had to be well thrown, well caught, well run routes. Like, we just never had those, right? So for the Panthers, get Bryce Young a couple of those. You know what I mean? Everything Frank Reich had Bryce Young doing looked hard. Mm-hmm. We, based on everything we know about Dave Canales, right? We really don't know if he's going to make it easier. We know he is jacked up to do his best. We know that
I feel great about playing football.
That's
right
him.
now.
We know that he has like assistant coaches that he really enjoys. We know that he's, committed to Carolina. We know all of that. I don't know what he's gonna design up for a team that's down 10 going into the second half that needs to get some big plays fresh out of half. I don't know how he's gonna motivate a defense. I don't know if he knows what he gave up when Dan Morgan traded away Brian Burns. Like, we don't know any of that yet. I think we know a lot more about players when they join a team than we do about coaches that are joining a team in a new role. If you're just taking Dave Canales as an offensive coordinator, we know a lot about him as an offensive coordinator. We just saw it in Tampa last year.
Yeah.
We don't know much about him as a head coach. It's like maybe even a better example. It would be as if you drafted a player with the intention of switching positions.
Okay.
Every once in a while, you see like a big wide receiver, they draft him and go like, he's a tight end. You're not like, hey, tight end room, way improved. You're like, let's see, what happens when he puts on 25 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. That's what I'm doing with Dave Canales. It's like we're getting a great prospect, but we're going to change positions on him, and we need to see what he looks like when he puts on, maybe it's not 25, 30 pounds, but it's 25, 30 pounds of responsibility onto his plate. Probably actually 120 pounds of responsibility on his plate.
Yeah, it's a lot. Load the bar up.
Get the bar bending.